What is going on, YouTube? Welcome back to the JDW Sports Talk Show, where every fan is welcome. Today, we are predicting Super Wild Card Weekend. Giving you my thoughts, my predictions on who I think is going to win, my upsets. Is there a team in here that is definitely fraud? Yeah, there definitely are frauds in the playoffs this year, as usually there are, but there's a few extra this year than there usually are. So let's not waste too much time. But if you enjoy NFL content, playoff predictions, and then we're going to be going into off-season mode, draft, make sure you like, subscribe, put the post notification bell on, because we got you covered. So you don't miss any future content. Subscribe, like, put the post notification bell on, so you don't miss any, all that stuff. But yeah, let's get into it. So you have the Los Angeles Chargers versus the Jacksonville Jaguars as the first matchup that we are going through today. So the Los Angeles Chargers have a horrible run defense, right? It's just not a good matchup for the Chargers in general. The Jaguars have some decent receivers, as the Chargers do too, but the Jaguars have some good receivers. Kirk has been very good. They have Marvin Jones. Evan Ingram has been solid. And then you have Trevor Lawrence conducting it all. Travis Etienne has been amazing. The Jaguars' offensive line is not horrible. It's not great. It's decent. It gets the job done. But the Chargers' run defense is horrible. Travis Etienne has been on fire. The Chargers' defense in general just is not great. And the Chargers' offense can be inconsistent at times. Eckler is a pretty damn good back, as we all know. But in the end, man, I think this Jacksonville Jaguars team is going to wear down this Chargers defense. I think it's just going to wear down the Chargers in general. I think that the Jaguars front is going to get after Herbert a little bit more than the Chargers front is going to get after Trevor Lawrence. Yeah, Joey Bosa is playing. Khalil Mack is playing. But I ultimately think that the Jaguars are going to get after him more. And I'm taking the Jacksonville Jaguars to defeat the Los Angeles Chargers for the first game of the 2023 NFL playoffs. So, we move on. The Baltimore Ravens and the Cincinnati Bengals. No Lamar Jackson. So, I think this makes this game a little easier to predict. Now, playing a divisional opponent 2 weeks in a row, very difficult to beat them 2 weeks in a row. So that's going to be interesting to see if they can beat them 2 weeks in a row. Now, the Bengals, their offensive line still has not been great. They allowed 41 sacks this season, 10 less than last year. Joe Burrow has played very well. Very good receivers. Chase, Boyd, Higgins has been phenomenal. Boyd has been phenomenal. Chase is phenomenal. Is always phenomenal. Joe Mixon's a solid running back. Does he have great blocking? Absolutely not. On the other side of the thing, Tyler Huntley is questionable. So does Tyler Huntley play? Is it Anthony Brown? Not sure. Baltimore Ravens defense can be inconsistent, but the pass rush is pretty solid. Marlon Humphrey and Peters can be inconsistent at times. But, I'm going to take Mr. Joe Cool. Yep. Joe Burrow. Joe Cool. I think Joe Burrow is going to, I think he's going to be pressured quite a bit in this game, but I think getting the ball out quick to Jamar Chase, Boyd, Higgins, having all those options to you really helps getting out the ball quick. And, he's been taking less sacks in general, throwing the ball away a little bit. Checking down a little more because he kind of has to. So I think that the Cincinnati Bengals are going to beat the Baltimore Ravens. Now, it could be a closer game than people think. J.K. Dobbins has been a very good back. Excluding Week 18, he was the league's leading rusher since 15 to 17, excluding 18. So maybe they could get the run game going and wear that Bengals defense down. But, all in all, the Bengals are a better team. The defense is better, so I'm going to take the Cincinnati Bengals over the Baltimore Ravens. Then, I'm going for it. Upset of the week. No, I'm playing. I'm kidding. But I'm taking the Buffalo Bills over the Miami Dolphins. The Miami Dolphins, they have, playmakers. But the guy thrown to those playmakers is not Tua. Tua has not played well in the latter end of the season. But having Skylar Thompson or Teddy Bridgewater playing just is not Tua-esque. I'm just not, that Bills defense is going to have a problem. That Bills offense is top 10 rushing James Cook has played very well lately. The Dolphins have not been great in stopping the run. I think the Buffalo Bills take this one. I don't think they have too much of an issue taking this one home. So I'm taking the Buffalo Bills over the Miami Dolphins. Now it is almost a two touchdown spread. I wouldn't be surprised if the Bills won by 2 touchdowns. Now let's move on to the NFC side of things. We have the Dallas Cowboys and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So I think this game is going to be a very good game. The Cowboys have not played very well. They've had some weird games. They dropped a 52 bomb on the Colts. Then they barely beat the Texans in a game that they were favored by quite a bit. They lost to the Jaguars. They lost to the Commanders. So not really coming into the playoffs like you'd like. But the Buccaneers, they have Brady. They have some good weapons. And, that Dallas Cowboys defense just has not been very good since Anthony Brown has been injured. Dan Quinn just hasn't been able to find someone to really replace him. And, they brought people off the streets. Just no one has been able to take over. So that pass rush is phenomenal, right? And Tampa Bay's offensive line isn't great. It's really beat up. Has been all year. But, I think having Godwin, Evans, I think the Buccaneers finally run the ball like they should. And I think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to upset. I mean, I guess it could be considered an upset because a lot of people are going to pick the Cowboys here. But I think that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to come out to win at home over the Dallas Cowboys. Because the Buccaneers, the Dallas Cowboys don't have a great run defense. If the Buccaneers actually decide to run the ball because they are effective when they run the ball, and Rachaad White is a solid running back. Leonard Fournette is solid too, but I think Rachaad White is more dynamic at this point in his career. I think Mike Evans isn't going to have an issue. I think Chris Godwin isn't going to have an issue on the other side. Trayvon Diggs might have a rough day. Even if he does or not, you have Chris Godwin or Mike Evans on the opposite side. So, I think I think Dallas's defense, I don't think they're going to be able to overcome that defense. Their offense has been very good. They've averaged, 32 points a game since Dak has came back. But this isn't the game for them. I absolutely see the Buccaneers win. Now, really, it is kind of a 50-50 game in my opinion. But I'm going to take Tom Brady at home. I'm going to take that Bucs defense as a little better. I'm taking the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at home. So, talking about 50-50 games. We have the New York Giants and the Minnesota Vikings. Vikings are at home. Vikings have had close games all year long. And they beat the Giants, I believe, on a 61-yard field goal in the regular season. Both of these teams have had a lot of close games during the regular season. The Giants haven't really pulled away in games. The Vikings haven't either. The Vikings have found bizarre ways to win. The biggest comeback recorded in NFL history against the Colts. Just long field goals. Crazy stuff. But, I think I'd take the Vikings playmakers over the New York Giants playmakers. But, that Minnesota Vikings offensive line. Yikes. Kirk Cousins was sacked 12 more times than he was last season. And that New York Giants front, one of the most underrated fronts in the entire NFL. Dexter Lawrence is amazing. Kayvon Thibodeau has been solid. You have a lot of very strong guys in that defensive line. And the Vikings offensive line is going to struggle. The Giants linebackers aren't great either, but, I think the Minnesota Vikings are going to win this one. Like I said, I think this is a 50-50 game. But I'm taking the Vikings because just the playmakers. Maybe Kirk Cousins can get the ball out quick. You know what, though? Kirk Cousins isn't great under pressure, and he's going to be under pressure a lot. He can be a weird thing is going to happen with Kirk Cousins under pressure. The Giants can run the ball. They can manage the game. But you know what? I'm going to count on Justin Jefferson, Kirk Cousins, T.J. Hawkinson, or Dalvin Cook making that play that matters. Because the Giants don't have that guy other than Saquon to really make that big-time play that matters. You know, I think the Vikings, you know, they have Jefferson. They have Thielen. Osborne can make some plays here and there. I think that the Vikings just have those playmakers, that guys that can make the bigger plays in the big moments. On offense, you know, the Giants, defensive line can do the same thing, but the Giants' cornerbacks just are not great. Wink Martindale likes to blitz a lot. You know, he has like a 45% blitz rate. And, you know, Kirk Cousins, as I said, you know, he does weird things under pressure sometimes. But I'm just going to trust Kirk Cousins and those weapons that he has to make one more play than the Giants do. So then the last game we're going through here, probably the last and probably one of the worst games of the weekend it could be. But actually, you know, I think this is going to be a little closer game than people think. You know, what happened to that 4-game winning streak that the Seahawks had? You know, in the first matchup, Nick Bosa went wild on Abraham Lucas and Nick Cross. He had like 5 quarterbacks hits. He had like 2 sacks. Just not a very good outing for the Seahawks offensive line. The second time they played, Nick Bosa got 3 hits on the quarterback. So Lucas and Nick Cross have gotten better. They definitely progressed throughout the season. But that interior of the Seahawks offensive line is horrible. And this Seahawks team, you know, they like to throw the ball deep. You know, and you know they're not really good at the things that have the best chance to beat the Niners. You know, screens. You know, the quick game. You know, they're not really the best at that stuff that would give you the best chance of beating the Niners. So, you know, and the Niners have one of the best defenses in the NFL. You know, no, they have the best defense in the NFL. The Niners are just him, man. You know, I think Brock Purdy's going to get it done. All of those weapons that Brock Purdy has, Deebo Samuel, George Kittle, Brandon Ayuk. You know, you're going to have Elijah Mitchell and Christian McCaffrey. Elijah Mitchell has come on strong towards the end of the season. Christian McCaffrey, we all know Christian McCaffrey is amazing. So, I'm taking the San Francisco 49ers. And, wow, I took all the home teams. Wow. I did not notice that until now. But wow, okay. Give me your guys' thoughts in the comment section down below. Now, it's probably not going to work out like this, and you know, it never really works out the way you think it does. But, you know, this is my prediction. Drop your predictions for Wildcard Weekend down below in the comment section. Thank you for tuning in to the JDW Sports Talk Show, where every fan is welcome. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, put the post notification bell on so you do not miss any future videos. This is JDW Sports Talk Show, signing off.